Dateline 1914. Work begins on 7 new buildings on the recently purchased Kodak Heights site, northwest of Toronto. Dateline 1916. Kodak Canada rents out facilities for $1 to the 127th Battalion Canadian Infantry. 1918. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns fall silent as jubilation ensues as World War I comes to an end. Dateline 1925. Canadian Kodak Limited celebrates 25 years in Canada.
My name is Alf Hall, and I worked at Kodak for 50 years. Started in May the 25th, 1928, and finished in 1978. And my first job at Kodak was to work in the powder and solution. Now, most of these people that I've got behind me have never heard of it before, but they contained doing all the chemicals for the entire plant, and for all those chemicals that were sold out to people like Abel's, Black's, and all the stores downtown, did their own developing. I enjoyed it. I played hockey for Kodak for about 4 years in the commercial league, and in 1937 we were lucky enough to win the City of Toronto Industrial Championship. We always played baseball out in diamonds out in the field, where nobody present today going to Kodak would know that there was a hardball diamond out there, way back where we used to keep the horses for the delivering all the goods from department to department. We used horses, and I know their names by a heart. Jack and Fred were the both of them. It's what they had, and they were very well loved by the guy that looked after them.
Dateline 1937. To accommodate expansion, Canadian Kodak purchases 16.5 acres of land north of its western site. Dateline 1942. Kodak joins the ranks of Canada's industrial army in the manufacturing of military equipment. 1946. After World War II, Kodak Canada resumes full-time production of cameras and film for civilian photographic consumers.
My name's Ted Stevenson. I'm here to introduce my family members who are still working with Kodak. Behind me I have my sister Elizabeth Simon. To my left is my cousin Craig Stevenson and my brother-in-law Russ Dennis. I've made a good living with Kodak. I've had an enjoyable life and met lots of people that I would consider friends and a lot of acquaintances over the years. I guess when I first started here, the nickname that I got was Young Stevie because of a large extended family that has been here for 83 years and 4 generations. 2 individuals by the name of Jack and Jim that were part of that long list. Jack was my grandfather, and he had an impact on a lot of Kodakers' lives because he was instrumental in starting the union back in 1950, I think it was, along with George Rassman and a few other people. Now there's an interesting story around that because a lot of people that signed union cards in those days didn't know that they had because there was such a strong feeling that they needed to bring a union here. So they, I guess, basically forged some signatures. And when I think of Jim had a very important job in the film emulsion area. He was general foreman over there for a lot of years. But also, what a lot of people don't know is that he was instrumental in bringing the credit union to Kodak Heights, and a lot of people have benefited by that. He was a charter member along with a number of other people.
I've worked at Kodak here for 32 years almost. I'm the son of Tom Stevenson, who was one of the many Stevensons, who worked here for approximately 43 years. Like previously Ted mentioned, Jack and Chuck and Alf all came over first. Well, I don't know whether it was a bi-weekly paycheck back then or weekly, but They would meet out in the railroad tracks to our right over here, and every week they would get together out there and more or less give out the money to each other to send back home. Well, my one uncle Chuck, he wasn't too fond of that idea every week because he liked to go out and have a good time himself. So about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock every week of pay, they'd be out there having a big fisticuff fight.
Dateline 1963. Kodak Canada announces the construction of a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, vastly expanding its film production capacity. 1967. Canadian Kodak celebrates the country's centennial by participating in Canada's first World's Fair, Expo 67.
Hi, my name's Stu Irvin. This is my daughter, Heather Greco. We represent a family that's been at Kodak a number of years, not a large number of us, but over quite a number of years. Sitting in this auditorium brings back quite a few memories. I believe it was built in 1940, I think it was 39 or 40, something like that, a little before my time. But I do remember that we had free Friday night movies at Kodak. I guess it was once a month, I think it was once a month. So that was a kind of a fun thing for families. At that time, going to the movies was maybe a little something that people didn't do too often. I can't say it was high priced because I went to one the other night. It was $12. But no, they had a nice Friday night movie. That was one of the features of the organization. Many other events have occurred here, many Christmas parties and things like that. But I do remember the Friday night movies.
I remember as a child the hospital green of the cafeteria. I remember coming and sitting on Santa's lap. I remember getting the huge bags of candies that were shaped like bells. I remember a lot of the kids that we came with are now grown and have children of their own. And it's sometimes frightening when I realize all the changes that have taken place. But like they say, change is for the better, and we can only go on from here and get better.
Dateline 1981. The Canada Arm takes its first ride in space and performs flawlessly. 1989. Kodak Canada introduces the incredibly popular Kodak Colorkins.
Hi, I'm Marg Griffin, and this is Blair Walters, Lillian Goodenough, and Sue Manovich. We're all part of the Walters clan at Kodak.
I guess our section of the Walters family started its history with Kodak Canada back in 1947 when my mother started as a student. And my grandmother joined her shortly thereafter in 1948, and then my father, Ernie Walters, started in 1950 and had a 37-year career here at Kodak. Some of the things I remember, I guess as a young child, was coming over to meet my dad when he got out of work because we lived just up the street from Kodak, and the Christmas parties that we used to come to, myself and my two sisters.
I remember coming to work in the morning and everyone would smile at each other as I was walking into the office. And that really struck me as being a very family type environment here. You felt comfortable because we were all inside a secured area, so everyone was very comfortable with each other. That was very different from the experiences I'd had downtown in the past where you get on the elevator and everyone just looks forward. So it was a really great beginning here.
Dateline 1995. At a major satellite downlink event held simultaneously in world capitals, including Toronto, Kodak defines the future direction of photography. Dateline 1999. With its past proudly preserved, Kodak Canada celebrates its 100-year anniversary.
I'm Barry Hall. I started working with Kodak Canada on June the 18th, 1956. I stayed there for 31 years.
I'm Ron Hall. I started at Kodak in 1966, but all my time at Kodak I was either known as Alfie's kid or Barry's kid brother, and after a while it was Betty's husband, and then I'd go over to sensitizing department, then it was Tracy's father, so I am Ron.
Hi, I'm Tracy Hall. I worked for Kodak since 1984 until the closing this June. Then I'll be out of work. Thank you. It's too bad that it happens, but it's you know, it's the going world, I guess. The thing I'm gonna miss about Kodak is friends I made in there, and you know, once you leave, you kind of probably lose touch of it with everybody.
My name is Lou Francoeur, and I'm here representing my family and the in-laws of the Cuddies.
I started at Kodak in 1987 as a summer student in the National Operating Center. I've had good memories in both departments I've worked in or work in, but my fondest memories are when I was a child. And I used to come here and I used to walk through those doors over there, and I used to come to the Christmas parties for the children. I used to get my present. I was always excited. I've been fortunate. I've met my in-laws, my husband here at this company, as part of baseball, where all the manufacturing people got together and all the office people, and we'd go out there and slug it out on the diamonds, and we got together, and this is how this family's been.
I'm Jim Tierney, worked at Kodak 18 years. It's been great. Gonna miss the place and miss the people I met. Been great.
I'm Leosa Chichester, and I have been working for Kodak for just a little bit over 27 years. And I'm so sorry, you know, that we're not going to be here anymore. But on the other hand, I'm also, you know, very grateful, as I said, to have had this opportunity. An opportunity that a lot of people can only dream of.
My name is Arthur Bartolo, and I've been working at Kodak Canada since 1985. And my father worked here for 25 years before me. So when the announcement came in December, I was very sad about it. But I've come to realize that it's also a very good opportunity for me to do something else. The thing I'll miss most is the people of Kodak.
My name is Michael Yan. I work in equipment services for 15 years. Electronic camera repair technician, and love my job, and too bad we have to go.
Hi, I'm Michael Waters from IMF Film Finishing. I run the PAS machines here. I want to wish everybody now and in the future great luck at Kodak here, and then I've had 18 wonderful years of employment.
Okay, my name is Sean Coyle. I've worked here at KCI for about 8 years now. I'm a second-generation Kodaker. My father started working here in the late 60s. In fact, I remember coming here as a child to the Kodak Christmas party. So there's been a Coyle working here at Kodak for over 40 years.
I don't like doing this. Okay, 12 years ago when I started here on my first day, I worked in mail and file under May Whitehead. And I have the pleasure of continuing on at Kodak in the transportation department after June 30th. So I'll carry our name on.
Hi, I'm Ed Perry. I'm an employee for Kodak for 29 years, and all I can say is thank you for the memories.
Dateline, June 30th, 2005. Thank you for the memories.